Hello and welcome to this video where I will show you how to use the battle report features we've added to this epic Armageddon table. Making battle reports can be a lot of work. You take pictures, you take notes during the game, you lose focus of the game, just trying to make good notes that you can use later for your battle reports. So our idea here was to make it a little bit simpler. So we want to enable you to record the actions that is taken during the game. That way you can replay it later, or you can even share the save file with people so they can open it up in their tabletop simulator to replay your battle on their computers, or you can use it yourself to replay it and record a video where you comment what's going on, or you can use it to replay and just take pictures and take notes and write down a good battle report in your own time, where you can replay everything from the first action. Okay, so I have prepared a board with some terrain features here. There are some objectives, and we have a Space Marine army on this side. Tacticals, some assaults, and a Thunderhawk, Warhounds, some scouts, annihilators, and whirlwinds. On the other side, we have a Black Legion list, a cruiser, retinue, and a Dreadclaw, a few more retinues, some bombers, a lot of chosen, Warhound, defilers, and demons. So before starting the game, you need to decide which models are to be recorded. So you select your army, right-click on the table, and it's important that you actually click on the table and not on the board, because then you won't get the options that you need here. So select record models. The reason for this is that we don't want things that are not included in the battle to be recorded. It takes a lot of space from the save file. So the downside is you have to do this manually. So record these guys. Let's see if I can get those without getting the dice here. Record models. And then you can use this action, show recorded. It will highlight everything that is recorded and just make sure that everything is in there. If you accidentally get something that you don't want, like some dice, you can just highlight them and forget models. Once everything is marked as recorded, you right-click here again and you do start recording. So once you started your recording, one really important thing is that you don't change anything on the models. So if I right-click here, I have the name, I have the description. You can tint the bases. Let's say I want an easy way to understand which units are in which formation. So I tint these scouts in some kind of green. Don't do that, because all of these things are used by the scripts to calculate an identity of the models. Tabletop Simulator is really low on resources and space in the save files, so we try to optimize so that all the tacticals will be saved as one tactical. And we need to calculate an identity of the model. So if you change things after you started the recording, it will fail. If you want to do these kind of things, to tint different formation and different colors and so on, it's perfectly fine, but make sure you do it before you start the recording. Once the recording is started, the scripts we've added to the table will note what you're doing with all the models that are recorded. So let's say I want to deploy my scouts here. I'll just switch the background to something more useful. Let's say I want to Garushin them over here. The scripts will take note what's going on. but yeah, I changed my mind, move them over here, place them into the woods here. So the first move, where I put them in the scrubs, will not be remembered. What is remembered is when you record action. So let's say they are here. I put some kind of Overwatch marker here, and then I right-click the table and do record action. It will bring up this dialog where you can enter a description of what happened. Scouts Garrison. And I click save. And now that action is recorded. So that's an important thing to understand. It won't record everything you do with your model. It will just record where they are when you click this record action. And to have to go back to the table all the time and right click here is kind of useless. So there's a simpler way to do this. You go into option, game keys, and you have record action and show next action. Let's start by binding this to some key. So you don't have to right click for each and every action. So let's record some deployments. Let's say the Chaos player is aggressive here. He puts his chosen in engagement range. He put these guys here. Let's just make sure they're not on the Space Marine side of the table. And record. And I mean here, the descriptions here, you can either go very detailed if you want to share this as a save file with someone, or if you're just doing it for yourself and want to replay it later, you can just click save here. You don't have to enter a text. Yeah, let's put some more scouts on the board. And you can use the ranging tools here to make sure they're close enough to the objective. Let's put an Overwatch, record. Yeah, let's just go a bit fast here. Let's put a few chosen units. These guys. Give them an Overwatch. And I can show you what it looks like so far. So you right click on the board, you do end recording, you'll get this pop-up telling you that everything will be reset. So this is the initial state where you started the recording, and then you do show next action. So the models will automatically be moved to where you saved the position. I'm just going to bind that to some key as well. So that's all the Garishans. And if I click next action, it won't be available here, but if I click the hotkey, it will say end the recording. So once you're at the end of the recording, you can resume it. So you right click the table, resume recording. Let's just do this deployment quick and dirty. Tacticals, Warhound, Annihilators, another Warhound, and the Supreme Commander. I can actually record that before we deploy the Chaos Marines. Yeah, something like that. So let's start the game. We'll go back to something that looks a bit better. Let's say the Chaos player wins initiative here, and Marines realize that they put their scouts in really bad positions. So let's say the Chosen engage the scouts here. They summon demons. Blood letters are nice. So just place them here. And then I'll show you the difference. What happens if you record often or if you just record a single action. Let's say they engage. The blood letters will rush the Marines here. Chosen moves forward. Probably good enough back there. Let's see, 15 centimeters. I have to move a little bit more forward. The rhinos also want to be in. I'll remove the Overwatch. I'll place an engage marker here. This as well is totally up to you how you want to play this. If you want to put these markers to tell what actions is happening, or if you just write notes instead. So let's say the scouts fire their Overwatch. They're lucky, they kill a bloodletter and maybe a rhino. The Chaos Marines will receive a few blast markers. And then there's the engagement. Bloodletters are great in close combat, so they kill a bunch of Marines and maybe this rhino. Yeah, and let's record. So the result of this is probably that the scouts are going to lose. Let's say they were lucky and didn't get wiped out. This rhino will run away broken. Put some kind of marker. We usually use this white one for broken. And we have some consolidation moves. They move forward. Bloodletter moves back. Should be another bloodletter in here. Yeah, something like that. And we record. So let's replay it and see what that looks like. So here are the Eucharistians. Then all of the setup. And so a lot of things happening at the same time. And again, it's kind of hard to follow what's happening. So we'll resume the recording. Let's say the Chaos player retains. Bloodletters seem to work, so we summon a few over here as well. We engage. These guys want to move into the ruins. So if we record this in a few steps, it will be much easier to follow. So let's say this is the first one. This scout want to countercharge because it's better in close combat. We record that. Next step, scouts shoot their Overwatch. They again kill a rhino and a bloodletter. And some blast markers for the Chaos Marines. We record that. Then we have the engagement. Let's say there are 3 scouts killed and 1 bloodletter and the Chosen because the scouts were really lucky. We save. And then let's say the scouts lost combat. 1 is lost to hack down and the vehicles fall back over here. Broken. We can record that one. And then some consolidation moves. And record that one. Let's again see what it looks like. So let's just speed through the deployment. So here's the first engage. Very busy. And if we zoom in and look at the second one, the move, the overwatch, the engagement, and then the results and the consolidation. It's easier to follow if you do it this way in more steps. Let's again resume recording. And let's say the Marine player wants to shoot some whirlwinds at the Chosen. Here are the templates over here. And when you do battle reports, make sure you use this one. It says recorded. And if you don't, it will not show up in your battle report. So just to show what's happening, I usually put these ones down. I'll put the sustained fire at the whirlwinds and do a record. And then move these to the side. Let's say we kill a Chosen, but no more. That's 2 blast markers. But yeah, that's enough to break them. So let's remove this stuff. Put the broken marker. And yeah, the blood letter will die. And these guys fall back. And record. Another thing that is kind of tricky is the space drops. We have orbital bombardments. We have this marker for the Dreadclaw. So let's say the Chaos player pre-plotted this before deployment. So he thought something would hide behind the scrubs. So we do save position at this one, and then we want to drop the drop pod in between all the objectives. Save position. So let's say the Chaos player now activates his strike cruiser. No, it's not the strike cruiser, it's the devastation. Anyways, right click, reveal position. So perfect hit on the whirlwinds. If I record this now, nothing will be recorded. And that's because this one wasn't moved by a human, it was moved by a script. So what I need to do if I want to record this is that I just pick it up, put it down again, and then I can record, because then the game will note that it has been moved. This one isn't actually recorded on its own. So what you do, you just move it over there, or you reveal the position, and then you place the drop pod over here. You record, and then you can move it. Let's say I want to kill the tacticals over here. And out comes the retinue. And record. So let's see what it looks like, all of it. And recording. And then usually when you play, you have a lot of dice and things on the table that are not recorded, and those will be left here. Or you could have dice behind your table, so when these things go back to their original position, and they will land on your dice. So clean up behind the board, and once you reset, clean up on the board before you start your replay. So we've seen this a few times now. Garrisons, deployments, we have the engagement on the left side and on the right side. And let's see, now the whirlwinds, sustained fire, and the show some breaks. And now we have the devastation class cruiser. So this was just a prep. And here you see the template. I thought we would have an action where we didn't see anything happen, but that's because I didn't record when I moved it over here. Anyways, here's the bombardment. Here's the Dreadclaw and the retinue. And as you can see, this marker, it's not recorded at all, so it won't be moved anywhere. And that's it, end of recording. And if you want to share your recording with someone, you need to save. So just go in here and save your game. Simple as that. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.